Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I encourage you to hit that like button to subscribe for more quality content and to share with your friends. I also encourage you to check out the playlist tab for more videos and to check out my books on my author page. I will put the link in the description. As you may know, I'm Phoenix and I'm a writer as well as YouTuber, and if you want to help this channel, then definitely be sure to subscribe and to check out my other videos, as well as I encourage you to check out my books, which will be on my author page on Amazon, and I encourage you to check those out. Having a review of those books would help me a lot, as well as reading the books, and I definitely appreciate you stopping by. I'm Phoenix, and today I'm going to talk about science fiction, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Science fiction is a genre that I very much like, and that I have liked since I discovered it as a younger kid. And I've definitely enjoyed reading science fiction books throughout the years, which includes writers as diverse as Isaac Asimov, who wrote the Foundation trilogy and series, as well as the author of 1984, George Orwell, as well as books by people like Greg Bear, who has written short stories and novels in science fiction, Ray Bradbury. There are many writers, and I in fact have a stack of books by writers that I've been reading throughout the past year or so, which includes Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It includes Frank Herbert's Dune, which I'm currently reading, and which I very much enjoy. It includes a book that I finished reading over the quarantine called Dogran by Samuel Delany, which I also enjoyed, and short stories by Philip K. Dick. And so, as you can imagine, with seeing the books that I've mentioned and the books that I'm talking about now and referencing, definitely there is a wide range of books out there for us to choose from, and I think that it makes exploring science fiction very exciting. Now, I like to read a variety of different books, whether science or philosophy or fiction, realistic fiction, poetry, plays. I like reading a variety of things, and that is why I gravitate towards science fiction, because I often see it as escapism in a variety of ways. Even though I think much science fiction makes you think very hard about the topics at hand and the themes and the politics and the worlds being built therein, it also seems to me that it is also escapism in a variety of ways. It allows for you to explore new concepts and new worlds without having to leave the comfort of your own home, and that can be very interesting and valuable to engage with. So I very much like science fiction as a way of escaping the world in which we live in. Now, I think that science fiction does a very good job at capturing this hunger for new worlds. So I recently got in a conversation about colonizing the moon and colonizing Mars, and with reading science fiction, it's very inspiring and magical to think that such things might be possible with our developments in science. It is definitely a very powerful thing to think about. And as people like Carl Sagan, who was someone who wrote about astronomy among other topics in science, it is very fair to say that we do hunger for new worlds. We do get very, I would describe, complacent and bored with our own kind of complacency and ease of life. And we want to explore. We don't want to be sedentary. We want to be able to explore the universe. And I think that that is a very, very powerful theme and idea to consider, that we can explore the universe. And so we do hunger for new worlds. I think one of the things that is remarkable about science fiction is the way that it captures new worlds, moons, planets, dimensions, and black holes and white holes and wormholes and parallel universes and the multiverse and multiverses. It's very fascinating what science fiction can lead us to thinking about. And I don't see science fiction as being conservative in a variety of ways. Conservative in the sense that it holds itself back from exploring new possibilities and exploring what is really out there. It definitely seems as though science fiction is really about owning in on these things and owning in on what is really out there and what we can do to explore these worlds and explore these new places. These new places in our imagination, and in a variety of ways we can explore the world through science fiction. And I think that that is very amazing. So it seems to me that science fiction does capture dystopias, as we see with George Orwell's 1984 and Dahlgren's Bologna, where we see these worlds that are far from perfect and far from utopias, and that capture very interesting elements of chaos. But I don't think that science fiction is just about the exploring new worlds that may be not too far removed from our own, but also capturing worlds that we can explore. And so again, to go back on my point about exploring the world and exploring new worlds and the universe, it definitely can be a way to explore new horizons, and I really like that possibility. Now, one of the writers that I think captures very well these notions of capturing a new experience through reading in science fiction is Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick was very much about exploring new frontiers, and he definitely did that with his science fiction. And I think that he shows through his own lens of paranoia and kind of schizophrenic delusions and imaginings that there really are these dimensions and worlds that are just barely beyond our reach, but that are there, and that we may be able to reach if we continue to explore. I find such ideas to be very powerful, and even though Philip K. Dick was coming from a very imaginative place, it doesn't seem too far-fetched to say that there are other dimensions extremely close to us, if only we are willing to see them. There are these things that we don't immediately see but are there. And maybe Philip K. Dick in a lot of ways meant that more as abstract metaphors and through abstractions to be able to capture those things. But if we're talking about being able to colonize the moon and Mars as an example, maybe these worlds really are not that far away. And that is one of the amazing things that I think science fiction captures. And I think that makes it very interesting. Now, in terms of thinking about The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think that there are a lot of humorous points in that book, such as the computer who explained the meaning of life as being the number, drumroll please, 42. I've always found that joke to be very funny because it definitely captures the ambiguity and absurdity of existence and expecting technology to have all of the answers to what life is and expecting science to always give us this mathematical answer. But there is a way in which sometimes there is an absurdity, and I think one of the wonderful things that science fiction captures, such as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is by showing us that there are a lot of complexities in the world, and we can't reduce it down to a simple number, so to speak, and in all honesty, we can't reduce it down to the simplest components in a lot of ways because life is very complicated. And I like that kind of absurdism of thinking about the world as being ambiguous in a lot of ways and unknown, and how we can't boil it down to a simple math equation. This is the thing that I like about science fiction, aside from exploring worlds, is exploring new concepts and new possibilities. I've definitely tried to explore a variety of aspects and angles to science fiction, which is why I've read a lot of different books. And I like reading newer books and newer magazines as well because it shows us that there are new possibilities just around the horizon. And I write science fiction and have written science fiction, and I definitely enjoy doing that because it does help me, Phoenix, imagine different worlds, and I really like that idea. And I like the idea of being able to explore new possibilities, new scientific principles. There really are a lot of things that we can explore and discover, and so I definitely encourage you to check them out. There is honestly a lot that I could say about science fiction, but I wanted to do a brief discussion on some of the themes that have inspired me with reading science fiction, and I hope that it encourages you to check out some new material. If you haven't read science fiction already, I would say science fiction is very much a part of our collective unconscious. It's very much a part of the Zeitgeist and of our society, because we do definitely imagine new things and new frontiers, and I think that that's a very wonderful thing. When we think about traveling space and traveling the universe, we are utilizing some concepts from science fiction when we think about new worlds, dystopias, utopias, and other places. We are channeling science fiction. I mean, just think about the ubiquity of War of the Worlds as an example. Anyway, I'm Phoenix, and I hope that you enjoyed this talk. There will be much more content to come, so keep a lookout. I'm Phoenix, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.